Hi, I'm Dan Smith, and I want to talk about learning in relation to the internet. I know that I didn't grow up with the internet, and I know it made me a better musician because of it for some crucial reasons. One is because I had to learn to play things by ear. I had to listen to recordings of songs and develop my ear. I had to learn to be patient, and I also had to learn to be really persistent, tenacious about it. Those are three really important qualities to have just as a human being. It's important to be able to listen and listen in detail to something. It's important to be patient. It's important to be persistent. And the internet, in many ways, I think, erodes those abilities, those crucial human and musical qualities. So I think I'm just inviting everybody who's watching this, whether you're a student who works with me in person or not, to give yourself permission to try to figure out songs by ear. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, but Dan, I'm not good at it. I'm not going to be able to figure out what if I can't figure out a single note or a single chord? It's still valuable. Because if you try to do it, you're going to be strengthening, you're going to be developing those qualities that I just mentioned. Think of it as like if you're trying to lift something heavy and you can't lift it, you're still developing your muscles. You're going to get stronger as a result of trying to do it. And eventually you will start to figure out stuff by ear, and it's going to increase your musicality overall. The internet is great. It's amazing, but it's also kind of like, it's kind of the equivalent paradigm shift of when we were able to fly, when we had planes. Before we had planes, we couldn't fly places. We couldn't go to China on a moment's notice or wherever, Africa, anywhere we wanted to in the world. The internet's kind of like that, because with the invention of the airplane also came the invention of the airplane crash. And let's face it, there's some pretty terrible things that are happening as a result of the internet. There's world division, just national division that's resulting in terrible things, shootings and whatever, that are clearly fueled by this kind of, implosion of our humanity. And so I'm inviting everybody to try to use their human qualities more than the internet. Now, I understand you're watching this on the internet. So, obviously there's a little bit of a contradiction happening here, but that doesn't mean you can't take some simple steps to connect to your humanity more as a musician, as a guitar player, and just as a human being. I know that it's something that I'm trying to do more and more, because we have to find a balance with this, because otherwise, like I said, it's going to erode our humanity away. It's been around for about 20 years as of the time of this taping, in a really substantial way. And I think that we, as a species, as a society, just need to be aware and vigilant about, giving away our power to it and giving away our life experience to it. I got a lot out of figuring out songs by ear. And I'm just using that as an example. There's a million different aspects to what we use the internet for that in many ways they're so convenient, and they speed up our ability to get information, right? I mean, on an obvious level. But we lose something by not having to wait a little bit, not having to kind of digest the experience of, say, learning a song or learning anything. So one of the things that I'm experimenting with lately is, if I don't really need to know something, I don't Google it. If I'm just curious, I'm trying to not Google it. I'm trying to just let myself have the wonder and the lack of knowledge in a way. Because then, if and when I do find it out, it's more satisfying, And I feel like by looking every little thing up, we lose something. Sure, you gain the information for a second, but how much do you really retain? I find that I retain a lot more by learning about things in emotional terms. And that's definitely true of music. That's something that I definitely see in my students. If they learn it through an emotional experience, it sticks with them better. I'm reminded of, there's a great quote from Maya Angelou, if I'm saying that right. Angelou, I don't know. You can tell me in the comments if I'm pronouncing it right. But, it's probably her most famous quote. People will forget the things you say, people will forget the things you do, but they will not forget how you make them feel. And I can absolutely attest to that being the case when it comes to learning. When my students learn things in emotional terms, when they have an emotional connection to what they learn, they don't have to try to remember it because it's in them, So as you go forward with your guitar playing, with your music, with your life, try to apply things in emotional terms, not just mental terms where you just kind of like quickly look it up and go, la, 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 and then you lose something in that moment. I really think you do. I'm not saying I'm never going to look anything up again. Of course I will. But I'm applying what I like to call the CIA method, which is all information given on a need-to-know basis. So if I need to look something up, I will. But if I don't really need to look it up, I'm just going to experiment for a little while with not looking it up. I encourage you to try it too and just see how you feel. Just be alone in your own thoughts. I think there's value in that, just as a human being. So, as usual, I hope this helps, and I'll see you next time.